What's going on, everybody? Today we got ourselves a little bit of an experiment type of video on FIFA 18 right before the new FIFA comes out and all of the transfers have been ready made. We're gonna take a look and see, as I've moved all of the major transfers all across Europe, mostly in the I've done every team in the Premier League. It's mostly a Premier League save, but I've moved all the major transfers across other leagues as well. And we're going to see how FIFA expects this to go over the next couple of seasons. I think I'm going to do one season, and then I might do a second season and a second episode. We'll see about that. But for now, we're just going to jump through one season. I've disabled the transfer window, the first transfer window, the current one we're in. But in January, they can start making transfers. But I have picked Liverpool, so there will be no transfers at Liverpool at least. So at minimum, Liverpool here will be pretty much ready to go as the whole thing plans itself out or plays itself out. So as you can see, this is the team we're looking at. We're probably just going to put the better off or the better rated players in, even though I kind of want to play Henderson. So we're going to put Henderson in. I'm not going to play any of these games, just if you were wondering. I'm not going to play any of these games. We're just going to put players here on the bench, see how everything goes, and this is probably how it is going to end up. So what I'm going to do is every 2 months we'll come back and take a look at how everything is playing out. Most of the big competitions, Champions League, things of that nature. I think we're going to wait till December to check out the Champions League and see how it's going, mainly because I just want to check through the group stages the one time. So we got August, September. We'll come back at the end of October, and then we'll come back at the end of December, and then at probably the end of January as well, because of or February. We'll come back at the end of February probably, and we'll probably go on from there and see how we do. But guys, let's jump into it. We're going to skip forward, and we're going to simulate our way. I know I've picked Liverpool, by the way, but I'm going to sim all the way. So we're going to sim to the end of October and see where we are then. So see you in a second. Alright, everybody. We are back at the end of October, and we're going to take a look at how everything is going. Here we are in our Champions League group, but we're going to go ahead and go to the tables here. Let's find them first. I always mess this bit up. Other leagues. Alright, so let's take a look real quick at the other leagues, and we'll move from there. So we'll go to the major leagues. This is what we're going to check. This is what we've moved mostly so far. So here we are in England. Liverpool are 19th. 1-4-5. I haven't played any of these games. I've just been simming through. 1-4-5 are Liverpool in 19th place with that squad. Chelsea are 11th place, 3-4-3 there. Arsenal are in 6th, Leicester 5th, West Ham 4th with all those new signings, and the City, Spurs, and United the top 3 there. So going all right. Everton and Liverpool dead last. Swansea, Huddersfield, West Brom are moving there. Who's high? Burnley are doing well. Bournemouth are doing well. Watford are doing well. So it's going that way. Lyon, as you can see here, have an extra game played than Paris, but technically top the league. So Lyon, Paris, and Marseille, they've got some new signings as well. Monaco doing pretty well, and some of the other teams down low. So it's going all right, not too bad. As Dortmund are top of the league, Bayern in 3rd behind Mönchengladbach. I'm actually really surprised that Dortmund are where they are. Excuse that noise. That may sound like crumpling paper. My cats are messing about. But Dortmund, they lost a lot of the bigger players, the good players, and then kind of the players that were replaced. Their new signings are kind of lower end in the game, lower 70s, upper 70s kind of thing. I thought they'd struggle a little bit, but they are doing well. Bayern in 3rd, Leverkusen 4th. Anybody surprisingly low? Schalke are pretty low. I'm not surprised so much that Leipzig are so low. So it's not going too bad. And here we go. Juventus here, top the league, of course. Fiorentina doing really well, 2nd place. Napoli, Milan, Inter Milan all the way down in 8th. They won't be too happy with that. I thought Sampdoria might be a little bit higher up this list. They're not. Torino doing well. But other than Fiorentina being that high at the moment, that looks pretty normal. So the signing's not making too much of a difference in Italy. The other places doing pretty well, though. So let's head over to Spain and take a look. This will be the last one we've got here. Sevilla on top here, 3 points ahead of Barcelona. Then Villarreal, Atletico Madrid, and Real Madrid. Any big teams anywhere? Valencia, who had a bunch of new signings, all the way down in 17th after 10 games. Not doing very well. I thought they'd be doing much better. Deportivo doing well. Where are Bilbao in 10th? Yes, so Sevilla setting the pace right now. They got some good signings in as well and didn't lose a ton. So, I mean, not doing too bad. As we take a look at the squad, everybody's insanely out of form. Liverpool playing really poorly, but we're going to take a look at the cup as well before we move on. Just go to, here we go. We'll take a look at the cup before we go forward and see what's going on, and then once we get to the end of December, we'll take a look at the Champions League and things like that, see who came out of those groups. But let's take a look at the Carabao Cup first and see what's going on. And here we are. United had beaten Liverpool. That was the early game. So United and Leicester, West Ham still in it with Brighton, and then Ipswich, Stoke, and then Chelsea and Bournemouth. So a couple teams not around. Tottenham, Liverpool, to name a few. So we'll have to get back on track and see. So we're going to now go ahead and skip our way to the end of December, right before the window. And then we'll be able to take a look at where everybody is in terms of Champions League and everything like that, guys. So just stay tuned, and then we'll jump back into it. Alrighty, everybody. We're at the end of December, getting ready to jump into the first window. My manager rating is 65. Getting ready to jump into the first window here, but we're going to take a look at where everybody is. And Liverpool have moved their way back up to 9th in the Premier League, which is not too bad. Brighton, Huddersfield, and Swansea in the bottom 3. Swansea back off a couple of points. We need to step it up a little bit as Spurs top the table by 7 points. No transfers for Spurs, but they're defying all of that. Manchester City, Manchester United, then Arsenal here. West Ham still up there in 6th, and if they win their game in hand, they can move all the way up to 3rd. Not too bad. Oh, well, everybody else. If they win their game in hand on Leicester, they can jump Leicester. Chelsea in 7th. Liverpool are back within 5 points of a Champions League spot after that torrid start, even though they have an extra game than Arsenal and United and whatnot. Everton still down in 15th, only 3 points out of the drop. Who's out doing? Watford falling back. Everything's starting to fall back into place except West Ham and Leicester, if you want to do it. But West Ham mostly are sticking up there and looking to stay put at the top there, hoping that their signings would do a little bit more. And the final 4 here are Stoke, Chelsea, Manchester United, and West Ham United. So a couple of big teams in there as they move forward. Here we are in the Champions League. We're going to take a look at that in a minute as a couple teams in there. We're going to go ahead and take a look at how those actually went, even though I backed off the wrong way. We can jump right to it. Champions League. It looks like Liverpool have been knocked out of the Champions League. Some of the big teams still in there, of course. Champions League. Let's see if we can get to the tables. We'll have to go find it the other way. So we'll head right over, and then we'll take a look at the big leagues as well. But not too out of the way, I would suppose. West Ham defying all odds. As of right now, most of you know, West Ham dead last in the Premier League. Haven't even collected a point. So we've checked through England already. We'll check through France. Paris back on top, but Nice keeping pace here. Lyon still back within 1. Monaco within 2. The top 4 there is only separated by 2 points. Probably going as you would. Nice may be a bit high depending on how you feel about that, though Nice did well a couple years ago and they've kept Mario Balotelli, and if you can keep scoring goals, and they may keep up there. So a very, very tight race right there for PSG and the rest of France there. 4 points separating the top 5 and 2 only separating the top 4. And here we go. Bayern have taken control back at the top. Not taken control. There's only 1 point separating 1st and 4th and 4 points only separating first and sixth. It's kind of evened out. Schalke still disappointingly in 10th. I thought they'd move up a little bit. Guess not, but it's Bayern and the Leverkusen, Dortmund, Mönchengladbach all on 33 or 34 points. Goal differences are all rather similar as well. Leipzig keeping pace also. It's very, very much how you would see it. A little bit tighter maybe than what you would assume. Juventus still in control, looking to go ahead and win another Serie A. Milan in second. All those signings finally coming to fruition for Milan. Fiorentina still keeping up there, 4 points ahead of Napoli in third place, and then Napoli, Inter have moved back up a little bit. Roma have dropped off a tad, and it seems on this right here, other than Napoli being down in fourth, this seems probably how Italy would be. Not too bad to start. The signings making a little bit of difference to some of those teams. Fiorentina doing much better than expected, and Milan finally getting all those signings to gel together a little bit. And what we've got is Spain here. Villarreal top of the league, 1 point ahead of Barcelona. Then it's Real Madrid. Sevilla have dropped off just a tad, 4 points back of Villarreal. Atletico Madrid falling behind in fifth. It's really a bit of a gap between fourth and fifth, starting to open up a little bit. We got anybody down here? Valencia still down in 16th, which is very much surprising still. So I'm surprised at how Valencia are sitting all the way at the bottom here. And if I can find the Champions League groups, I'm not sure where I would look. Oh, you know what I can do? Maybe if there we go, switch to the table view. Barcelona, look at this group. Nice, Liverpool, Dortmund, and Barcelona all finishing on 9 points. And all coming down to goal difference there. Dortmund go through ahead of Liverpool on 1 extra goal scored. That is an amazing Champions League group. Wow. Atletico Madrid and Chelsea beat out Shakhtar Donetsk and Sporting. Bayern and United go through ahead of Spartak and Celtic. Juventus, Porto ahead of Basel and Hoffenheim. It's a decent group for Juventus there. Spurs and Besiktas go through. Benfica, Leipzig with only 1 point. Champions League here. Paris and Feyenoord did well to beat out Sevilla and Roma. Paris there was 6 wins from 6, only conceded 1 goal. Roma very disappointing with only 1 point in their Champions League group. Monaco knocked out by CSKA Moscow. City doing well. Decent group for City to be fair, but surprising Monaco are out. Napoli and Real Madrid go through. 8 points. Olympiacos almost beat Napoli out there. The only thing there was goals for, it looks like. Theirs goal difference was locked at 1 on both on 8 points. Real Madrid taking almost maximum, and that is how it goes. So a crazy little Champions League there. But we're gonna skip ahead to February and in the Euro. Oh, actually, yes, we can check the Europa League now, can't we? Because we're in it, of course. Liverpool are in it, but I do want to check the Europa League before we move on. And then Nice miss out on the Europa League by goal difference to Liverpool. It's an amazing group. That was honestly an amazing group. We'll switch to table view here. And here we go. Marseille and Panathinaikos move forward. Ooh, what have I done there? There we go. Fenerbahce and Athletic move forward. Anything surprising? Not yet. No one out. We're going to play Liga. Salzburg are out. Arsenal move through. Nothing surprising as of yet. Milan do well. Lokomotiv do well. That's a good squad there all of a sudden at Lokomotiv. Everton doing pretty well. Getting through. Galatasaray out. So not too bad. We'll check out the last 16 once it comes to it, guys, but we don't have a ton of left here, so we're going to do February, and then we'll skip to the end. So we'll get through to February. At the end of February, actually, we'll do it right about here, right about midway. We'll sim to this date, and then halfway through February will come, and then we'll only have one more sim before the next year. But this is going to sim right through the window, and now teams can sign players, so from here on out, It's not over. Well, teams can sign players. I'm not sure what the thing is. If I've moved them over in the transfers, can they be moved on the next window immediately? We'll see. I believe they can. So transfers here. But we're at Liverpool, so I don't think, since I'm simming and I control Liverpool, I don't think anybody will move forward or move on. So at least Liverpool will stick the same, guys. But we'll jump to the next sim date, and we'll jump back into it. Alright, guys, we are in the middle of March, or most of the way through March here. The manager rating has gone down again. But we're going to take a look and see where we are. Liverpool's still in 9th. A win can take them up to 8th, it looks like. Can take them up to still 9th, but it would keep them close. A couple wins in a row and they wouldn't be that far out of it, but as you can see, Tottenham are flying away with the Premier League, 9 points ahead of Manchester City, and then Manchester United, Leicester City, and West Ham, and Bournemouth still up there. Bournemouth surprisingly still up there. West Ham still keeping good. The bottom 3, Huddersfield, look like they're gonna go down. Swansea and Palace still can survive. It's going to be tough for Huddersfield to really get anything back. Everton still in 14th. Arsenal, Chelsea, and Liverpool there at 7, 8, 9. Not good enough, but the 5th place, 4th place right there, up for grabs for a team that's not normally in there, even though Arsenal, Chelsea, and Liverpool will still technically be close enough to go ahead and grab that late on. But we'll have to see as we move forward. We're only going to have one more sim there, and then we're going to see the end of the season. But we'll move forward and see who's in some of these tournaments. Here's the FA Cup. Here's Fulham beat out Chelsea and West Brom. Fulham, while in the championship, still have their signings. Those 3 teams that got promoted still have their signings. So Arsenal and Tottenham to play in a FA Cup semifinal, and Everton and Fulham to play in the other semifinal. No Liverpool on here again. Liverpool never sim well, but it's okay. Carabao Cup, Manchester United win it. They beat West Ham 6-1 over 2 legs, and then Chelsea beat Stoke 5-0 over 2 legs, and it was 2-1 in the final to Manchester United. And here in this Champions League, Real Madrid to play City, Napoli to play Feyenoord, who knock out Tottenham and keep up their great run. Dortmund and Bayern to play each other. Dortmund still surprising me there with some of the signings that they let go as well. Atletico Madrid and Barca to play. A couple derbies in there in this tournament. And then we're going to take a look at the Euro League here as we are into the final 8. Lyon to play Villarreal, and then Liverpool were knocked out by, I'm going to be honest, I'm not sure who that is. We can check in a minute. And they'll play Zenit, and then Cologne and Lokomotiv, and then Marseille to play Braga. A very strange looking Europa League. I'm not sure who that was that knocked Liverpool out. Let's take a look, and then we'll take a look at the other major leagues. Who is this? Fenerbahce. Okay. Fenerbahce knocked them out. And then we have only going to check the last couple of leagues, and then we'll be moving on into the final bit of the season, and then we'll have one last look at the season and see where everything has ended up as a total. But here we are most of the way through. So far as Tottenham look like winning the title here, and Monaco and Paris back in their two-way fight for first place. Marseille, Lyon, Nice have fallen way off, but Marseille and Lyon have fallen off a bit. Nice, I'm kind of disappointed. They were level a couple months ago, and now they're 8 points back of third, 13 points back of the lead. They were only 1 point back last we looked. That's really disappointing from Nice. Dortmund, though, have taken over on Bayern and are 7 points clear of Bayern here. Very well done from them. I'm still surprised, not because of anything in particular. It's just the players they let go and the players they bought back. It's just it was a downgrade FIFA terms, not in player terms, but in FIFA terms it was a downgrade. Mönchengladbach and Leverkusen still hot on Bayern's tail. Leipzig still holding themselves in fifth. Schalke moved up just a tad, up to 8th, doing a little bit better, but not great. Here Juventus are 5 points ahead of Milan, and Fiorentina still holding firm in third, and it looks like that's going to be 1, 2, 3 right there, as Roma in fourth, and Napoli in fifth are 12 points back. Inter 15 points back of third. Not very good at all. I'm very surprised at how much Roma and Napoli have fallen off. Not so much Inter, but Roma and Napoli. And let's take a look at Spain as the last major league to look at before we do our last sim. Here we are. Barcelona have taken back control, 5 points ahead, and then it's Sevilla and Villarreal, and then Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid fighting for that top four as the rest have fallen off. Athletic Valencia have moved back up, moving up a little bit more back into relevance, I suppose, trying to move as far up the table as they can, but 11th is still very disappointing, guys. So we've got just a little bit to go here. We're going to do one more sim, and then we'll be at the end of the season. We're going to sim around this time, but we'll be at the end of the season, so hopefully we'll have some good results to bring to you. So let's jump into that, and then we'll be close to ending out this video, and we'll see if we do a second episode. We'll get a second season in there, as we won't go farther than 2 seasons, as some of the signings will start to get out of control and won't represent what we're trying to accomplish here with this sim, guys. But let's jump into the last portion. Alright, guys, we are back for the final portion of the sim, and as you can see, Liverpool moved their way up to 6th, 1 point out of 4th, actually. A couple goals as well, but 1 point out of 4th, and West Ham fell all the way to 9th as the season ended. They actually... wow, they finished 9 points back of 5th. That's super surprising on how the year was going. Liverpool worked their way up toward the end, but as you can see, Tottenham won the league by 3 points in the end, and then it was City, United, and then Arsenal. Liverpool and Chelsea going to miss out. Everton all the way down at 13th. Swansea, West Brom, and Huddersfield are going to get relegated. We're going to take a look at the championship. We haven't looked at that all year, really. Crystal Palace just surviving, Brighton as well. So we'll have to end up checking those out, but we'll move forward here before we go. And Fulham have won themselves a trophy from the championship. They win the FA Cup. They beat Tottenham in the final on penalties. Tottenham beat Arsenal. Look at that road for Fulham there. West Brom, they beat Chelsea, beat Everton, beat Tottenham in the final. A nice win for them. And as we know, Manchester United won the Carabao Cup. Real Madrid beat out Atletico Madrid for the Champions League final. Manchester City were beaten by Real Madrid. Napoli beat Feyenoord. Bayern ended up beating Dortmund there. So not too many surprises there, other than Feyenoord, who did really well. Lyon beat Marseille in the Euro League. We said it was a strange Euro League, and they were probably the 2 biggest teams in it. Villarreal, who were having a good year over in Spain, were beaten by Lyon. Fenerbahce made their way to the last 4, and so did Cologne. So a very decent run from a couple of those lesser-known teams, if you want to call them that, and not calendar, and not too bad. Some of the results started to even out toward the end, as you could see. We're actually going to jump to Spain first, mainly because they're the closest one this way. I believe in the next FIFA they've changed the screen so it's not as slow. But Real Madrid have come from nowhere to win La Liga. They finished 6 points ahead of Atletico Madrid. Those two were in 4th and 5th when we last checked up on the mid-March, and they both finished top 2 there. Sevilla, and look at Barcelona, who finished 9 points back of Real Madrid when they were 6 points ahead last we checked. That's a 15-point swing in just a couple of months. Amazing stuff there. Sevilla miss out on a Champions League spot. Villarreal come 3rd, Barca come 4th. That's actually very surprising, and as you can see, Valencia finished in 8th, moving closer to where they probably looked like they were going to finish, or originally seemed like they were going to finish, but not too bad there. So let's take a look at the championship as Aston Villa and Leeds come straight on up. Wolves, Fulham, and it seems those two are probably going to be the main ones to fight it out. One of those two are not going to make it up. And then who else came up with them, if I'm missing something? Someone else did. Cardiff. Unfortunately for Cardiff, they never really strengthened too much, and they didn't have a good FIFA squad to begin with. Here, Paris beat out Monaco by 2 points. Lyon in 3rd with 5 back, and then starts to get a little bit bigger from there. But Nice finished in 5th, moving themselves back up, not doing too bad. Dortmund win the Bundesliga by 9 points. And then after that, it's a 10-point gap, and Wolfsburg come from nowhere to finish 3rd, and Schalke come from way down to finish 4th. And look at Leipzig down at 6th, and the Mönchengladbach down in 9th, and Leverkusen down in 11th. Those two were perennial top 4 the entire season. These last 2 months have really screwed around with some of these teams. Look at this. What has happened here? Inter Milan. What, did they win out? Oh my goodness. Jumping from 8th, 6th. They were 8th at one point, 6th I believe last time we checked. They've won the league by 13 points. What has happened here? It seems a lot of the bigger teams who were in Europe have really struggled. Juventus have finished 3rd here. Milan and Inter with no real Europe, and they finished top. Look, I cannot believe that point total from Inter Milan. I cannot believe it. Roma finished 4th. Fiorentina fall down to 5th. Napoli finishing 6th. They have a disappointing season. Genoa moving up into the top 7. That's stunning right there from the way Italy finished. Wow. Wow. They must have clicked late on, guys. But that is pretty much going to do it for the video. As you can see, well, we can take a look at top scores and things like that. Eden Hazard at the top. It's McLean for Stoke finishing in 2nd. Shaqiri in 3rd with 18 goals. Aubameyang up there. Eriksson. Fernandinho with 15 goals. Imagine a City side where Fernandinho collects that many goals. Kane, Willian doing well. Albrighton with 13 goals. Nicely done. Liverpool player Origi gets himself in there. Muto did well. Wow, I cannot believe some of the results we're getting toward the end here. McLean with 19 goals for Stoke. We can check out the assists as well. Chelsea, Hazard, 21 goals, 10 assists. Stunning from Hazard there. Anything else out of the way here? Nothing crazy. Nicely done. Clean sheet. Schmeichel with 13. Leno got himself 10. Bravo still playing there at City. Red cards, Williams, Hogg, and Kabasele for Watford, all with 2. And can we leave the Premier League here? Oh, we can go to the FA Cup and other things of that nature. Can we hit the Champions League? Yes, we can. James Rodriguez gets 7. Ceballos at Real Madrid got 7, surprisingly, from deep midfield there. Aguero got 6. Benzema, not too bad. Assists, Bale got 5. Suarez, Ribery, Messi did pretty well in that department. Neymar there as well. Clean sheets, 6 for Buffon, and they were knocked out pretty early. Oh, but they also got 5 clean sheets in the group stage, didn't they? Depay at Lyon with 11 goals, and Payet at 8. Sansone at 8. Bittencourt did well. Ben Arfa there at Lokomotiv Moscow with 5. Amazing stuff. There's some crazy results. I still cannot believe the Italy result there. But guys, that's going to be the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll move forward and do a 2nd season, but I think we're going to stop at 2 seasons before the transfers get way out of control. So there'll be a 2nd episode later on with a 2nd season going up. But I hope you enjoyed this. Just a little bit of an experiment kind of thing with the new transfers. There won't be too many of these, but I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more. And peace.